Welcome to the Explainer. So, if you're sharing your life with a new dog, you already know the incredible joy they bring. But you probably also know the messy, stressful reality of trying to get them on a reliable bathroom schedule, right? Well, today we're diving into a completely science-backed approach to solve these frustrations. We're going to discover exactly how to set your dog up for absolute success. You know the feeling. You think your 5-month-old puppy is finally fully house-trained, and then bam, a sudden, unexpected puddle right on the kitchen floor tells you otherwise. Suddenly, you're frustrated, you're disappointed, and yeah, maybe even a little angry. And hey, that is completely valid. It is incredibly frustrating to feel like you're moving backwards. But let's just shelve those emotions for a second, because there are concrete, scientific reasons why this happens, and trust me, it is not a battle of wills. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the science of humane training. Then, managing your dog's space, followed by the potty training formula. After that, we'll cover building a reward ladder, and we'll wrap it all up with troubleshooting training fails. All right, starting off with Section 1, the science of humane training, which is really the foundation of all behavior. So, the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior explicitly states that evidence supports the use of reward-based methods for all canine training. Veterinary behaviorists universally recommend this over those outdated alpha dominance methods. Why? Because the data clearly shows it just produces the best, most reliable long-term results. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between these two approaches. Reward-based training, it builds an incredible bond and lowers your dog's stress. On the flip side, aversive training, which relies on force or fear, can actually lead to behavioral fallout. It literally impairs a dog's ability to learn. It's kind of like trying to learn math while someone is yelling at you. It just doesn't work. When you use positive reinforcement, you aren't just bribing a dog with food. You are creating an engaged, happy, and attentive learner. In fact, studies actually show that dogs trained with rewards gaze toward their owners much more frequently. They have lower cortisol levels, too. They're relaxed, they're focused, and they're genuinely ready to learn. Moving right along to Section 2, managing your dog's space, or how to set them up for success. You know, the absolute biggest mistake pet parents make is giving their new dog way too much freedom way too soon. And this brings us to a highly effective management tool called umbilical cord training. Basically, this is a supervision-based housebreaking method. Your puppy is kept on a 6-foot leash that is physically attached to you throughout the day to prevent bad habits from ever forming. Quick warning though, make sure you attach it to a sturdy belt, or you might humorously find yourself with a torn belt loop. But jokes aside, its power for behavioral management is absolutely unmatched. So here is exactly how you execute it. Step 1, attach that 6-foot leash to your waist. Step 2, just go about your daily tasks while observing the dog closely. Because they are right there next to you, Step 3 becomes super easy. You can proactively catch every single pre-potty sign, like sniffing or circling, before an accident even happens. And finally, Step 4, you escort them immediately to their potty area and reward them heavily. It's that simple. Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds into the potty training formula, the exact math of bladder control. UC Davis Veterinary Medicine outlines this brilliant concept we call the rule of paw. It's a fascinating little formula that shows exactly how long a puppy can physically hold their bladder. It's simply their age in months plus 1. So, to put that into perspective, a 2-month-old puppy maxes out at 3 hours. A 3-month-old maxes out at 4 hours. And that is their absolute physical ceiling. If a tiny puppy is left alone for an 8-hour workday without a break, they aren't being stubborn or spiteful when they pee inside. Their bladder muscles physically just cannot hold it. But outside of that strict math, there are 4 major biological triggers you really need to memorize. Dogs have this natural reflex to eliminate immediately after eating, drinking, playing, or waking from a nap. Whenever any of these 4 things happen, boom, the clock resets, and you must immediately take your puppy to their designated outdoor spot. Okay, on to Section 4, building a reward ladder with strategic treats. When it comes to rewarding your puppy, it turns out that not all treats are created equal. First up, consider the texture. Soft treats allow for super fast delivery. The puppy just swallows it instantly and is immediately ready for the next rep. Crunchy treats, on the other hand, create crumbs and literally force a chewing pause, which slows down your training sequences. So, soft, pea-sized treats are absolutely essential to maintain their focus during high-repetition exercises. Think of it like building a reward ladder. At the base, for those super easy indoor tasks, just use their measured, everyday kibble. Moving to the middle tier, for moderate distractions, you upgrade to soft, commercial treats. And at the very top,
For incredibly difficult settings or emergency recalls, that's when you bring out the high-value aroma treats, things like single-ingredient freeze-dried salmon or beef. Basically, don't waste your highest-value meat aromas on a simple sit in a quiet kitchen. Match the paycheck to the work.
And keeping this specific number in mind is absolutely vital, 10%. The World Small Animal Veterinarian Association recommends that treats should never, ever exceed 10% of a dog's daily calorie budget. If you're doing a whole lot of training, you've got to break those treats into tiny crumbs or deduct the treat calories from their daily meals to avoid any nutritional imbalances or, accidental weight gain.
Finally, Section 5, Troubleshooting Training Fails, for when things inevitably go wrong. Look, regressions happen to everyone, but when sudden accidents occur, experts tell us to look at 3 primary culprits. First, an underlying medical issue, like a sneaky bladder infection. Second, too much unmonitored freedom in the house. Or third, the owner is just missing the puppy's pre-potty signals. Quite often, honestly, the fault lies in our environmental management, not the dog.
So the crucial point is this diagnostic question. Has your puppy had an accident inside their appropriately sized crate or small pen? Puppies actually possess an innate, natural aversion to soiling their den. If they are eliminating in their sleeping space, that is a major red flag that their bladder control is compromised. If that happens, it's definitely time to call the vet. Now, if you do catch your dog having an accident, just interrupt them gently, prompt them outside, and then clean the indoor mess quietly. But here's the trick. You absolutely must use an enzymatic cleanser. Regular household soap just won't cut it. Enzymes physically destroy those residual odors that might entice your dog right back to that exact same spot on the carpet. Just clean it up and keep your attitude positive and forward moving. And whatever you do, please, never scold or punish them for an accident. Rubbing a dog's nose in their mess is completely ineffective. It does not teach them not to pee inside. What it does do is create immense anxiety. It teaches them that it is downright dangerous to go to the bathroom in your presence. And actually, that is exactly how you end up with a dog who sneaks off to pee behind the sofa. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. When your dog makes a mistake indoors, are they failing or is your management plan failing them? House training, it's not a battle of wills. It's really a collaborative effort of environmental setup, science-based timing, and positive reinforcement. So try adjusting your management, watch those incredible results unfold, and let that shared success strengthen the amazing bond you have with your dog.